between Henk Laterken and Lucas Morais for top spot. It emerged that the team's strategy had been to back Laterken for the win, given that he started the rally closer to Alatir in the championship, but in the end it was settled out on the track. Morais enjoying a clean run on the final day to win, but Guillaume de Mevius was defending third place overall today, but the X-Raid Mini driver was undone by an overheating radiator, with their car hoovering up a lot of grass. He lost 9 minutes and dropped down to 9th place. He went to her fellow Saudi, Yassir Sayyidan, who is back on the W2RC for the first time since Abu Dhabi. Alongside co-driver Michael Mech, who's going to be joining Stefan Petter-Hansel at the Dakar in the new Defender. Sayyidan won the day. Certainly did not. The American hotshot was actually leading the special at kilometre 75 after a flying start, but he and co-driver Andy Short were halted in their tracks by a broken disc brake, and that would cost them hours rather than minutes. After special number 1, Seth Quintero was topping the timesheets just 22 seconds ahead of Laterken. The American's been knocking on the door all week. Could he finish the job in the power stage? Well, Christina had already been called into action a bit earlier in the day to rescue her other teammate, Sébastien Loeb. The Frenchman talks us through what happened.
We hit a tree in a tight corner.
The fight for overall victory, João Ferreira is also very much in the thick of it. The Portuguese driver is just trying to keep his head down and stay out of trouble, and that conservative approach is paying dividends. He sits third overall. Well, today was an emotional roller coaster for Sébastien Loeb. Part of the stage was neutralised for safety reasons, and it took a while to work out who had finished where. Loeb was originally given the stage victory, then he dropped down to 4th place before finally being restored to 1st place and taking the day's honours. A great way for the WRC legend to bounce back after all of his problems yesterday. Another satisfied customer was Mathieu Serradori, who has been very consistent this week. The Frenchman finally suffered his first puncture of the rally today, but says that shows the sturdiness of the new CR7. He was 6th and sits 6th overall, but he's gunning for the top 5. Nasser Al-Attiyah was first out of the gate this morning with only one thing on his mind, staying at the front until the finish line. The Qatari had absolutely superb pace throughout, never quite topping the timesheets, but not far off. And while guys behind him had various problems, he sailed through unscathed. In fact, 10th today, Seth Quintero propelled himself into the overall lead. The young American was 4th quickest on the day, so he'll also have a few lines to follow on stage 3. Talk about getting stuck in. Expected victory for Richard Axel. He does have a bit of experience in this kind of terrain, having done the Kenya Classic in a 1972 Porsche 911, but it still came as a surprise when he found out.
I never ask about the standings or what's happening.
Mathieu Serradori had big mechanical problems yesterday, which meant a late night of repairs at the marathon camp and setting off today in 48th place. But he did a brilliant job slicing his way through the traffic to post the 3rd fastest time. The Frenchman enjoying the challenges here in South Africa. He says this rally is an... Here's another legend, Janil de Villiers, the only South African winner of the Dakar. He's been competing for Team Hilux in a V8 Toyota, and he's currently running 17th. But above all, he's been delighted to welcome the biggest names in Rally Raid to his home event.
I think so far it's been really great.
Extraordinary, and chapeau to Antoine Lecourbe. Also extraordinary, Jeremias Gonzalez Ferrioli and Jose Sebastian Cezana, who won every single race day, a feat that has never before been achieved in this class.
It's been an up and down few days for Lucas Morais. Victory on stage 2, a broken throttle pedal on stage 3, back in the top 5 today on stage 4. The Brazilian said his co-driver, Armand Monleon, did an amazing job as they set off 16th and worked their way through the traffic. He is one step closer to guaranteeing 3rd place overall in the World Rally Raid Championship. And then eating the dust on stage 2, but today he got it spot on. He also prefers these sandy desert tracks to the WRC-style pistes around Cordoba. Quintero says he feels the best that he ever has, and so does the car, and this win pushes him back into the top 5 overall. Alatia had yet to win a stage this week, but the Qatari always knows exactly when to pounce. He went full gas today, putting 3 minutes into Al Raji and almost 17 into third-placed Halpern. He took the stage win and thought he had the overall lead as well, but there was a late twist. The FIA gave him a 1-minute penalty for not strapping himself in properly after a stop yesterday, so he remains second overall and will have to hunt down Al Raji. Well, here's another man who's very happy with his car, Guillaume de Mévius. The Belgian isn't driving the newest version of the X-Raid Mini like his teammate Gerland Shishiri, but he's having an excellent rally. He and his new co-driver Mathieu Baumel are clearly delighted with their burgeoning partnership.
Ferreira wasn't able to sustain his challenge, finishing in 10th spot eventually. His teammate Guillaume de Mévius came in 3 places higher.
Pau Navarro, and he had no choice other than to throw everything at the final stage. The Spanish driver gave it his all, and by kilometre 87 he was up on a keel, but would it be enough? A quick word too for this man, Adam Koos. He rounded out the top 5 here in Abu Dhabi. A good result.
Stage 4 was ultimately a story of Dacia domination, as the Sand Riders put all 3 of their cars inside the top 5. Sebastian Loeb was opening after his win yesterday, but had a nice clean run. Good pace, no mistake. Ferioli agreed with his teammate, saying that with the dunes, the stony riverbeds and the fast sections, the terrain was awesome. The Argentine came second and he remains on top overall. He's looking forward to the inter-team battle over the last 2 days. After taking his first W2RC win in the SSVs yesterday, Mario Franco was chasing his first outright stage win today and came agonisingly close. But a 2-minute penalty for speeding meant he had to settle for second place. Jose Nogueira took his best result of the week in the SSVs, finishing second. But it was a day of mixed fortunes for the Old Friends Rally team, as their W2RC leader, Alexandra Pinto, lost almost 50 minutes.
As it turned out, are also the top 3 overall, and in the same order. In their Toyota Gazoo Racing Hilux, Steph Quintero and Dennis Zentz finished 3rd overall for the 3rd time, following the T1s last year, the cars in 2023 when he won the T3s.
Yazid Al Raji has also run into various problems in recent days, so the Saudi was happy to finally have a clean run. A good starting position, 9th, allowed them to make up some time, even if they did struggle a bit in the dust. Second place for Al Raji on the day, and he is looking forward to hunting down El Matador tomorrow. After 2 days of Portuguese power, the Can-Am factory team hit back with a vengeance in the SSVs, completing a 1-2-3 and putting all 4 of their cars in the top 3. Dania Akil made it back-to-back wins in the Challengers. The Saudi said her plan today was to stay 100% from start to finish, because as soon as you make even a minor mistake in this class, your rivals pounce. Another excellent showing to take the stage by over 5 minutes. Well, his loss was obviously somebody else's gain, or in this case 2 somebodies, Sayud Variawa and Guy Botterill. The 2 SV Racing teammates began the day a long way back and absolutely made the most of it. Variawa, 20th out of the gate, finished just 55 seconds down in second place. Nicolas Cavigliasso is determined to extend his overall lead in the W2RC. He's been playing it smart, not pushing too hard to bring the car home in one piece. Second place today.
It was an extremely close contest over the 6 days of racing, but in the end, the Toyota wasn't quite its rival's equal. Nonetheless, Moraes moved on to the championship podium with 59 points and placing 2 men on the rally podium.
Lead. As for Loeb, he pushed hard all day long and just about held off de Mévius to claim his first win in the Sand Rider. That's the team's second victory in 3 stages.
With the Dacia coping far better with the challenges of the day, Nasser Al Attiyah quickly made up ground. Of course, all he needed to do was follow Lucas's tracks and keep out of trouble. But he did much more than that, gaining 35 seconds by the first checkpoint and another 35 by the second. Once the racing got underway, they led again through checkpoints 1, 2 and 3, and their gap widened to a minute after 100k.